Hi guys, another Melbourne preview, and once again we're joined by our professional punter, Darren Potter.
Thanks, Matt. Good to be here again. Let's hope we can find a few winners for the viewers.
Mate, you've been on fire, and another winning week last week.
Yeah, it was the early set went out, won about 8 units, and the guys that were in the Pro Better Live chat room also got tipped into Chance to Dance, which made it about 28 units or something like that.
Yeah, that's
good.
It's a handy result. We had a great result, and look, let's just move into this card at Flemington. It's a once again a jam-packed card, and we're back to the True Rail at Flemington. Yep,
140 acceptors, so it's a deep card, which always generates good opportunities. So you need things to run your way to win, but we're going to find enough of the right horses, and hopefully things pan out for those horses. So the track has been playing fair at Flemington, so Mick Goody and his team put a lot of work into evening it out as much as they can with their aerator and other little toys. But really, at the end of the day, what makes the big difference at Flemington, no matter where the rail is the wind. There is a forecast for 30-kilometre winds, which is just enough to could potentially make it a factor. So, but it's a north wind, so that's tailwind in the home straight. So it's not as bad as like when it blows from the south. It's deadly. It really knocks the on-paces around, and horses racing anywhere near the fence have just got no chance. So in this situation, it's not as noticeable. If it wind's the hardest thing for the forecasters to predict. So you don't really know till the day for sure. It's hard to plan for. So, but I would think stalking the speed with cover will be ideal.
Yeah, it's a safe play, isn't it?
It is. I mean, on all tracks, it's a pretty good place to be. But I would think middle gates, sort of going forward early and then sitting is going to be that's what most of them are going to be looking for. I think that sort of situation will probably provide most of the winners. Things like box seat and behind box seat on the fence, I've found a few horses there because they're the right horses. But it's a dangerous spot. It can work out really well, it can work out terribly. Because what happens, particularly at Flemington, they start to come around from midfield, 3 and 4 wide on that sweeping turn, and those horses that are box seat, particularly if the leader comes back on top of them, they can just get buried. So it's a tricky spot to be, but at the end of the day, it's about price. So if you're backing those horses and you're backing them at the right price, you just got to hope that the breaks come for them.
Oh, very nice. And another little sermon for our viewers. Glenn gave us a sermon on Monday. And I'm talking about Monday. Are you going to pop in?
I'm going to come on the show next week. There's a lot of talk about, a lot of misinformation there about me there last week. So we'll just go on and we'll have a bit of fun. It'll be good.
Darren Potter on Monday's Punters show. Let's jump straight into it. Race 1 at Flemington. We've got the return of Petit, filou, who's had a few weeks off. Look at, what do we say? I was sort of getting worried about her getting out to maybe a 1200 metre race, but what does it look like? They've found a sort of softish race for her?
So that track situation I was talking about before is around the circle, obviously. It's different down the straight. It'll be a tailwind. I would think the on-pacers will get every chance. There's some chance the wide lanes will do better, but I would think it'll be pretty even. And then the fastest horse, it's really the horse that sprints fastest over the last 400 in relation to where they are positioned at that point. So, this is a pretty soft race. She'll be up on speed. She'll sprint faster than all of them over the last 400, and she'll win by 2 or 3 lengths. So, there's not much. I mean,
and $1.85. What are we thinking here?
Well, I marked it even money because at that stage they were still betting 220. And I was happy to take the 220. I think 220 is a good price, but so I would think they'll bet even money on Saturday because it's a pretty big field.
It is.
And there's bits and pieces here, horses like Payroll. Payroll, I'll be watching her run because she's talented. I don't think 1100 is going to do much good for her, but she'll be strong late. She'll be a long way off Petit, filou. So, but you know what I mean. Like there's horses here that could generate a bit of interest.
And Parcel was that other horse that was sort of we talked about last week.
Parcel's very fast and she's got talent, but she's mad. So like you could spec her here, and I'd be happy to save on her. Even My Petit, Strike 'em, Take Pride. They're all got something to offer. So I think there'll be enough sort of interest in other horses that something around even money we bet on Saturday, and at that price she's a good bet.
Okay.
So, I mean, I could make her shorter than I did, so I might, in the final set for Saturday, we might sharpen that up a little bit. We'll just see what, I'll have a good look at all the others again and see which ones we can get rid of. But
okay.
Yeah, she's a pretty simple start to the day. So if she's, the only way she'll get beat is if she's not with us. Otherwise she wins.
Okay, very good. Race number 2, we've got the stayers again. $6 for the likes of Raining. We've got Danshire there. At First Sight and Creaming are all just under the double figure mark.
Yeah.
Much excitement here?
Not much excitement,
okay.
but
angles?
Yeah, there's a few angles here. So there's not much between them. So it's sort of best ride wins, really, I suppose. But
yeah.
A lot of these horses, so Mako, Raining, Kareeming, Crafty Cruiser, At First Sight now, Danshire, they were all coming through those same 2 races at Moonee Valley.
Okay, yep.
Okay, they're both slowly run races.
Okay.
The form out of them is miserable. They're 14 days between runs.
Yep.
So I'm just going to bet around all of them.
Okay.
Really.
Right. Okay.
The only one of them I could consider, and he's backable, is Sir Mako, because he won that race, and he's sort of got since he's come from New Zealand, he's produced a number of runs at that level. So
yep.
He's thereabouts. But but looking away from that group of horses, and they've all got a chance.
Yeah.
Kareeming sort of got a good racing style. Raining sort of putting himself thereabouts. So they've all got hopes, but whatever. And the other horse that I'm amazed is actually the early favourite in this race is Albinetti. So she's never looked like winning a city race.
Yeah. You opposed her pretty strongly last time.
Yeah, she just sort of runs along in behind him.
Yeah, she steps up to 25.
She's met Prism at the last 2 starts, and he's beat her own both times. So. To me, she's just the reason I'm betting in this race, because she's taking up so much percentage.
Yeah.
And I just can't have her. So again, I'm not saying she's not a winning chance, but she's got to win a race in town before you can even consider her, and I'll be amazed if she starts favourite.
Yeah.
So
okay,
so we're sort of eliminating horses. The horse that's set up here that I really want to back, but he hasn't won forever. He's certainly more than 2 years since he's won. He's Prism. I think he's had 21 starts at Flemington, and he's been placed 10 times without a win.
Okay.
But he's set up to run his absolute best. So whether that means he can get in front at the end.
Yeah.
But he's 10 to 1 or $10. I think $10, not 11. But so he's on the 7-day backup. So I think he's got
something different.
He's got an advantage over most of those other horses. He should have won last week. He was very unlucky.
Yeah.
Whether if the luck had come, he would have gone past him is another question. But he finished right on the heels of the 4 horses in the photo finish, and he had no luck. So we'll have something on him. And Sir Laszlo. Sir Laszlo is a horse that Darren Weir's got later in life, and he's slowly built him up. Put the blinkers on him 2 starts ago, and he ran okay in that slowly run race. Then he got away from that, so he went to Sandown. So he's dropped back, but then so second going blinkers for Darren Weir, and he put a space in a moderate team of midweekers, so that bit of a confidence builder, and he looks backable here to me as well.
Okay, well, lovely. A few little angles to work with.
They're small bets.
Yep, small bets. Yep, no, fair enough. Just a reminder, we've got our free trials do continue on our website. Darren is not a free trial this week, but thanks for those that signed up. But now you can pay for it because you won.
Yeah, good.
But there's 4 different options for this weekend. So puntershow.com.au is a free trial, and there's also some spring options. Jump in and try something if you haven't tried it before.
Sounds fair to me.
That's a good deal. Race number 3, 1400 metres. We have $6 Prince of Brooklyn, $7.50 Snoopy, 26. What was the horse I want to talk about? Bonarum, Sovereign Nation, and Deadly Shadow down the bottom is another interesting horse. Race number 3. What are we thinking here?
It's a big team of 3-year-olds. So what I really don't want to be doing here is backing horses in the box seat and behind the box seat.
Yep.
But unfortunately, the horses that I think are the most talented horses in the race are probably going to be in those spots.
Okay.
So both Snoopy and Prince of Brooklyn, they've drawn gates 1 and 2, and they're going to have horses coming across from out wide that are going to cross them.
Yep.
So you just got to back their talent and hope the jockeys get it right. But
Yep.
so Snoopy trialled well, won nicely first up in what's turned out to be an OK form race.
Yeah, sure has. Yeah.
He ran much better time than the filly on the same day.
Okay.
What's her name? The one that went to Caulfield and won, of Mike Moroney's.
Alaskan Rose.
Alaskan Rose. Then he went to Ballarat against the older horses, which is not easy to do this time of year for 3-year-olds.
Yep.
I mean, they weren't they were just moderate older horses, but you still got to beat them. And he started very short, and he did it easily, even though he didn't handle the track at all. So it was wet, and he sort of slipped and slided around a bit, but he still got the job done. Big gap back to third. I think he's a talented horse, Snoopy, so he's in the box seat, and hopefully that works out okay for him.
Yeah, okay.
And if he can sort of pop off the fence and get around him before all the other ones come round on the turn, that's his best go.
Okay.
Prince of Brooklyn will be following him. He went in that race, that very messy race first up, where it was just a messy race. They all sort of they went along at just below even tempo, but they all seemed to get in each other's way in that race. And Mr. Individual, Michael Rod, looked like he was going to fall off it. He must have landed from Singapore with vertigo or something, Michael, because he had 2 rides at day and he nearly fell off both of them.
Really?
Vertigo. Mr. Individual and Vézelay.
Oh, yeah.
He was all at sea on Vézelay.
Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't been in the best form over there either.
I don't watch Singapore racing, but well, they sort of ride on that one track all the time. When you come back and you've got to do something different,
Well, while we're touching on the Gold Symphony race, just for your little background for the punters betting in Sydney, you were never sort of quite wrapped on him, so you can't see him coming to Sydney and winning.
Oh, he should be. I haven't looked. What price would he be?
Well, he's a fairly big price. He's obviously we'll chase that down, but
he should be 100 to 1.
Thank you.
He's 100 to 1 chance.
That's what I wanted to know.
So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And he's the best of that group. So yeah. So where were we? Yeah. So Prince of Brooklyn.
So you're happy?
He was a bit. Yeah. I'm happy to forget it.
Yep.
On paper, he was disappointing, and he might turn out to be not much good. But going back to his 2 wins last prep, I found something to like about them. I like the way he gets his head down and chases the line.
Yeah, sure thing.
And he did pick up a little bit late there last start. So again, he's sort of in a spot where he's going to need some runs to come. But I'm going to give him another chance, and I wouldn't be surprised if he starts a well-backed favourite here.
Okay.
Odyssey Moon's thereabouts. He's sort of
another horse that returned and a little bit. Well, I suppose it was never a chance, I suppose, and ran okay.
Yeah, he was 3 wide on the track. We had to be on the fence, so that
was a pretty big return.
Yeah, he ran okay. It was a slowly run race, so
okay. Yeah, a bit flattered then.
Well,
yeah,
he was
cancelled.
It was against the bias,
yep.
But it was a slowly run race.
Yep.
It wasn't a bad run,
yep.
And he should get a better run this time. So he sort of fits in there with a bit of a chance. I'm sort of taking a bit of a long handle to El Greco because he's been around forever. I mean, he was against the bias in that same Moonee Valley race, but he's starting to look a bit tired to me.
Yep.
You mentioned Bonaroon before. I mean, he had every chance at Sandown, so he'll get up on pace here and get run over. Sovereign Nations is a horse that surprises me. I mean, he's coming off a 1,000-metre nothing win at Geelong. He's stepping up to 1,400, and they're saying, "Do you want $8?" I don't know that stable must like him or something.
Yeah, there was some hype around on the day, I think. But
it's a bit like Barter Weir last week. You know what I mean? Like at least Barter Weir had a few more runs and wasn't making a big distance jump. But they're hard horses for me to find.
Yeah, for sure. Any love for Brycey Hayes down the bottom? He's gone from the midweeks to Saturday.
Well, it's
tonight. It was a nice run, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a very nice run. It's 4th emergency, so I didn't put a lot of time into it. But if he gets in the field, I'd have to think about him a bit.
Okay.
Because that was a good run.
It was a good run. Race number 4, the Neal Stakes. Got ready for victory. $3.20, $6. Black Vanquish. 9 and 7 for Raphael's Cat and King Like.
Yep. So this is interesting. This is the first insight into how this Sydney form and Melbourne form is going to line up.
Okay, here we go.
So It's you know, you got to remember it's their home patch. Most of these Melbourne horses, or particularly the ones trained at Flemington, will have burned down the straight, if not in races, in trials. So they've got a pretty big advantage. And the Sydney ones have got to come down here. Like so in Raphael's Cat's case, he's coming off a win around the circle at Canterbury.
It's a completely different ball game, isn't it?
It's a different thing.
I think what you like free striding sort of horses that they relax, they go forward, and that's it. The horses that sort of have to learn to switch off always seem to have issues.
Yeah, you can't go. It's a hard place to go flat out the whole way. Yeah, and there's different kind of ways of winding down the straight.
Yes.
But the most regular way is what you just described. Horses that can get up on pace at a natural gait and sprint the last 400 metres. That's the ideal scenario at Flemington. But just on raw numbers here, I've got Raphael's Cat on top. So I'm just going to have to take the odds to it, and at the price available, just back him. So not a lot between him and Ready for Victory. So, you know, Ready for Victory's had the experience down the straight, so that probably gives him the advantage. But he's going to have a few horses in front of him here. So you'll have to pick his way through the field, and which is nothing wrong with that. Down the straight, it's probably okay. I mean, he'll be in the finish, you'd think. He's a talented horse, and even though he ran in that Gold Symphony race, his was by far the best run. He was ducking and weaving all over the shop.
Yeah, sure was.
And that was just a...
It was strange. We were both sort of a bit unsure about how he was going to come back off the slipper, but it was an impressive sort of return, wasn't it?
Well, it was a good enough return. You know, you still want to be diving into him at a short price. You'd still want to be seeing him hit the line in John McLeod. So he sort of hit the line okay in that race. So I mean, he's thereabouts for sure.
Yeah, you got your money out of Wellsprung last time with the favours on pace. You're happy to got your money, so thank you very much. We move on. Yeah,
he's you know, he'll run an honest race.
Of course,
I'm not saying he's no ape, he's some ape, but he's about the right price.
Just a lesson for punters, not to fall in love just because you've had a nice win on something.
No, definitely not. This is a much harder race than the race he won. The horse that I can't believe here, it's just, to me, it's... should he not be in the race? Is that what they're saying? So we're talking about Headwater. Headwater was a one-time favourite for the Golden Slipper. That last time he was in Melbourne, he started at $1.40.
He did.
And in the early markets, they're saying you want $17.
Yes, I noticed it was on your betting plan, which is now out, actually, nice and early.
So, I mean, he's you can't sort of back him with any confidence because he looks like he has lost his way a bit, but he's run...
Let's talk about free striding. That's the perfect scenario, isn't it?
Well, he was in an impossible race for a first up. That was just not a first uppers race, and this suits him down to the ground. He's a tremendous price, so you don't have to have a lot on him to get a good result out of him. So he's very easy to back, I thought.
Okay.
Plenty of other chances though. Black Vanquish has got something to offer. King Light, Boston Light, your mate Brycey, it did nice things on debut.
From the valley to the straight, an interesting one to weigh up for the punters.
They're all sort of middling horses to me, but you know, Raphael's Cat and Ready for Victory have got a clear advantage, and Headwater, if he happened to find his form, he'd be right with them.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, we touched on your set. It's out nice and early.
Yeah, I started early because I thought 140 runners, it'll take a bit of getting through, and it all went surprisingly smoothly. So yeah, I like that.
And that's a good sign moving into a meeting.
It is. Like I said, my only concern about this meeting is, you know, some of those horses that they're the right horses, but they're in the in tricky spots. But that's racing.
Okay.
You just got to take the price and let the results happen.
Darren's very successful set is online now. It's $55 for the weekend. You get an interim. Those who bought it early or through Pro Better Live have it in their inbox. Otherwise, you'll get it when you get home tonight.
Sounds good.
Darren Potter, jump on.
Well, I think
you've won about 5 out of the last 6 weekends. That's pretty good.
I think we've won 5 in a row, and then we had one loss and we won 3 before that. So I think we might have had 8 out of 9.
Okay,
something like that.
It's okay. It's not a bad effort.
Yeah, no. Well,
and that's why Darren's bought a new pad down in Melbourne or something.
No, I haven't done that.
All right, race 5. It's called the Sofitel over 1400. We have a lot of percentage taken up here with Disposition and Yesterday's Song, $2.70 and $3.70. And then we've got a bit of a gap up to, I suppose, Labaz is around the $10 mark.
Yeah. You know, you got a lot of off-season type horses here, so I can understand exactly where the early price assessors are coming from.
Okay.
It's very easy just to find this position and yesterday's song and try and sort it out between those two, really.
Yep.
The one horse away from them that, when I first did the race, I was prepared to just let him go around against me, but I might give it a bit more thought, because I looked at his jump out and it was particularly good, much better than last prep, was Akavaroon.
Okay.
So Akavaroon I'm thinking about at a decent price, but apart from that, I think it's...
You can train Kieran Ma.
You can. Yeah, so we'll see what we can find out there.
Okay.
So this position has got the strongest form line of the last 12 months through the Wandjina stuff.
It sure does, yeah.
And his run in that race was fabulous. So he's changed stables to the Freedmans. He's had a strong jump out at Mornington. It all looks in order to me. He'll race just behind the pace in the perfect spot. It won't be a hard tempo, it'll be fairly soft. Just really, I think he looks the winner.
Okay.
Fortunate for me, I just happened to have the computer on at the right time when the tab put up $4.50, and I thought that was very generous.
Very nice.
So now he's found his price now, and they'll probably bet a bit better between now and jump time, I would think.
Yep.
Yesterday's song's got the fitness advantage. This is his opportunity to beat this position. If he can't beat this position Saturday, he'll never beat him.
Okay.
But I'm happy to back this position and hope that he's fit enough to hold yesterday's song off.
Bit of $4.40, not a bad bit of shopping there by Darren Potter. We've got a massive top wetter tournament on this weekend again. So the boys are going in with another $550 buy-in tournament for the Makybe Diva Stakes Day.
I'd love to be playing. That'd be good fun. It's a bit. The Pro Battle Live chat room's quite active at the moment, so it's.
It is. Yeah, look, have a think about it. Might be some easy pickings for you, but
there's no easy pickings. There's some very, very clever punters out there, Matt.
I think you're 8 out of 9. I think you would be going pretty close.
Yeah, that's a different thing altogether. That's just winning, turning over money and producing a profit on it.
Yep.
You have to have, for the tournament, you have to have a completely different mindset, because, I would, in my normal punting, the thought of going all in is just completely foreign to me. Like, I never bet more than 2% of my bank in any race, right? So, and it's just, you just keep going and finding the right horses at the right prices, and, over time you'll turn over a profit. The tournaments, you've got a finite amount of money and you have to maximise it to win. So, if you had a really good day and you build up all day, you could probably win that way. But the more often way is to get to the last race in some sort of shape and have a really good bet on the last winner. I would think that's how most of those tournaments are won.
Yeah, it has been happening a little bit. Yeah, exactly. It's building a little bank to have whoever has that big go and has the big result. But then again, I think 89,000 won it last week in Sydney, and that was off a 10,000 start. So.
But I did read there that one bloke bet all of his money bar $100, and that was good enough to run third. So he got. He did. He built it back up from 100. So good on him. That was a good story for him. But anyway, it's for 2% of your bank. You're saying you're risking. It's a massive bank, Punters, trust me. That's the. I rarely get anywhere near that. That's so.
I was waiting to say that as soon as you said it. All right, race number 6. Our friend Rich Enough returns $3.40. Well, he's not really our friend. I'm just saying we were a good horse to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
Lucky Hustler $6, $8.50 Churchill Dancer, and Kaepernick down the bottom about $8. So Rich Enough. He's sort of he copped a good bit of talking about last time, and I suppose the answer is he met a very informed Bounding who was wound up.
Yep.
And ran great time, and what are we saying? He held his own?
Yeah, I think it was okay.
Yep.
I think you're absolutely right. He ran in the Bounding at 1,100 metres.
I don't think anyone was going to beat her that day.
No, she was wound up, and he drew one.
Yep.
At a distance suitable to her. She drew wider. She just sort of had him checkmate from the minute the gates opened, and
you could see it at 800 metres.
Yeah.
It was just
I'd backed Rich Enough. I had a small bet on him. I thought it was a backable price.
Yep.
And you just after 200 metres, you went, well, the Snowdens have worked their magic here.
Yeah.
And she's just got this race won. It was just all over, and she just...
And the money just all morning was just, they knew that it was D-Day for her.
So I actually think, I mean, I thought this race here on Saturday, I put a lot of thought into it. Thought, what do we do with here? Because when I go through and look at all these horses, there's not a lot between them.
Yep.
So if you take Rich Enough out, it looks like a bunched finish to me.
Okay.
So, like, Lucky Hustler won first up last time at the Valley, but he sort of got his birthday that day. They went hard and he got an amazing run through, and he won't get anything like that here. So he's sort of a dangerous horse, but you couldn't back him with any confidence.
Yep.
I don't know about Gregor's down the straight. She sort of looks like sit and sprint sort of her go, but so she's just a bit of a chance. Then there's not a lot between them. Under the Louvre, Centenum, Amarino, Churchill Downs is a horse that's stepping up in grade, but he's a very good straight horse.
Yeah.
But even Sterling City from Hong Kong, hard to assess. There's not going to be much between them. So to me, if you take Rich Enough out, it's a very hard race. So then Rich Enough is in it. You've got to think about him. The other thing, his first up run, there was a bit of rain about that day. It was probably enough to make him a little bit uncomfortable.
Okay.
So he comes away from...
Because we're hearing he's returned even bigger than what he was before.
Yeah, big giant of a horse, all that. So he comes away from Caulfield, from gate 1, bit of a murky track.
Yep.
When he drew, and he was facing an opponent there that was flying. And he comes here on top of the ground, he'll control the race. The only horse that'll be anywhere near him is Il Cavallo, but he'll be out wider.
Yep.
I just think there's going to be a lot of people wanting to lay him, and I'm inclined to want to back him.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to say this is an opportunity to back a really good horse when he's got an edge on the field. Now, if all of a sudden people are just, he's got no price, and
different
on the fair
scenario.
he's just charging out, I'd be very careful. But I think they're going to bet $4, thereabouts, and that looks a fair price to me. I mean, in fact, if he's working really well and he's primed and the word gets out and all that sort of business, I wouldn't be surprised to see him start 2 to 1 here.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? I can see, I'm not sure, he could start anywhere from sort of 280 to God knows if he's not with us.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky one, but I'm not going to get massively involved in the race, but I am wanting to back Rich Enough.
Okay.
I think there's an opportunity to back him. The other horse I'm going to have something on, or have had something on, is Capernic. He's a he's a bit of a hollow horse, but ridden quietly. He's got one really quick sprint in him. Probably somewhere between 200 and 400 metres. And he's sort of drawn an outside gate here. Dwayne Dunn will be looking to pinch into the race, get dragged into it, and then really sprint hard the last 200 or 300 metres from the clock tower. And I wouldn't be surprised if he appeared late out wide.
Okay, that's a good little insight into the thoughts on Rich Enough. Race number 7 is the feature of the day. It's a great race actually, with plenty of angles to work with. The Makybe Diva over the mile. We have 440 for Bourbon, who upset your pick and your day. Well, you won anyway, but it would have been a fill up if our horse won.
Stratum Star.
So 440 for Bourbon, $7 Faulkner, 12 for Weary, 13 for High World and Volkstock, and $7 for Alpine Eagle, who is returning, who was, I think, is going to be a pretty special horse with a few strange actions, does a few things with his head, but
he's got talent,
there's
but he
talent there.
There's something he's got to be ironed out a bit. I don't know. Weight for age racing is going to be tricky for him because they often, these muddling type scenarios.
That's right. That's true. Okay, let's have a look at the Makybe Diva pace-wise.
Another intriguing race. So there's no no serious pace here. And in Sydney, you don't want Tommy Berry leading because Tommy wants to rush out of the gates, get to the fence, drop the anchor, lose all of his momentum and have other horse, then try and get it back and be in front after the line again. In Melbourne, the a jockey that I particularly like backing, but not on leaders, it's Dwayne Dunn. He did it last start on Entirely Platinum, and he's very likely to do it again. So, Entirely Platinum and High World will come across from wide gates. I hope Kieran McAvoy gets good advice here, and if Dwayne Dunn tries to drop the anchor, just keep going, Kieran. Just go to the front and let your horse run naturally. If you do that, he's a very good chance of winning.
I think so.
He was the most disadvantaged by the anchor drop last start. He drew the inside gate, didn't suit him. He is a really good chance in this race.
He did attack the line.
It just needs to... let's talk about that Caulfield race, okay? The race is abominable.
Yeah, you gave us little hints last week about how slow they went.
Well, they went quick in the first out of the gates. Dropped anchor as soon as they could, and then got slower. And they didn't come home all that quickly. No. The overall time in the race is terrible. I think it's going to hurt all of those horses. It's going to take them a run to recover from it to get back up to where they need to be. But Bam was least disadvantaged. He wasn't really advantaged by it, he was least disadvantaged, if that makes sense. And he sort of ran quicker than them because he can pick up better. He picked up better than them and got the money. So he's in this race as a chance again, but that's all he is, and he's too well found for me. Now, Faulkner was actually due to run in that race and they scratched him from a wide gate.
That's right.
Here he is in a wide gate again. I think he was going to start favourite. I think it's an advantage that he didn't run in that race.
Okay, that's a nice little call.
I think he had I think it was at the same meeting. He had a track gallop on the course proper. I think that's a better prep for this than that race.
Right, so he'll still be nice and fresh and feeling well within himself.
I'm saying that race is poison, and they'll take a run to get over it. I hope High World doesn't. The key to High World is Kieran McAvoy not falling into an anchor drop, into letting that horse run.
And he does have some really good figures when he leads, I'm hearing, Kieran McAvoy. So
yeah, Kieran's, you never know. You never know. Our Point Eagles, he's an interesting horse. He'll probably do a lot wrong here. It's not a great scenario for him.
He sort of never really got to 2,000 last time. I think he needs 2,000 and every bit of that.
Yeah, I think he's actually going to be better in races where there's
some speed,
some tempo there, where he can just run naturally.
As
soon as he gets uncomfortable, he's going to be a problem. But he's dangerous for sure. So I'm giving all the ticks to Faulkner because he's just going to follow High World and Entirely Platinum across. Ollie won't make a mistake, and he's a Flemington horse. He's the horse to beat, no doubt about it.
Wow. Okay.
High World, Kieran, just go on with it, mate. $13 is a good price.
It is.
Alpine Eagle's very dangerous, and Baban will be appearing at some point.
Okay. Look.
And I really hope Awesome Rock doesn't get a run here because he'll win the last.
Oh, right, yeah, he does look a standout in the last. Let's have a chat about the next race, the 8th, the Let's Stakes. Over 1,400, Group 2 for the mares. We have Noble Protector returning, 380 Protector. It's a bit spaced out. Well, Cosmic Endeavour at $6.50, $11 for May's Dream, $11 for Sadaj. One at a bit of odds, Hazard is $17.
So, Noble Protector's the starting point.
Sure
she's a talented mare. She's a dominator though. She likes to get the front.
She was one of those horses that ran massive times on the data people and the RSPs was, plus 10 lengths and all that sort of stuff. Last time.
So at the moment, Tortune's in the field. I hope Tortune's in the field when we get to Saturday. Because Tortune's a lot faster than the rest of these. So I would think it would be impossible for them to keep her away from the lead. So she'll be straight in front, and they'll be. Steve Basta tends to ride her quite aggressively, but that's at 1,200. So at 1,400, they'll probably be thinking, how do we get a?
That's the thing. Like
get her to 1,400.
The owners are probably they're probably thinking we need to hold this horse up because we're going up to 14, which is going to basically play against the horse, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But she's got, I mean, she really hasn't got a chance. So if she's in front, Neighbourhood Protector's going to be behind her. I've already said that's an awkward spot. So what would Craig Williams like to do? He would like at the first opportunity to pop out and get outside 14.
Yep.
I would think. The problem with that is Ollie's on Vézelay. And Vézelay's, Neighbourhood Protector's in 1, Vézelay's in 4.
Yeah.
Ollie just says, no, you can stay there.
That's true.
So I think the battle of tactics between Damien Oliver and Craig Williams here will be fascinating.
Fascinating, yeah.
Obviously, it's a different kettle of fish if Torteen's not in the field, but she is. So that's, I think that's intriguing, and I think that'll be the winning and losing of the race. That battle of tactics.
Right. Okay.
So hopefully, Ollie can just put Neighbourhood Protector in checkmate. So last prep, Neighbourhood Protector was first up in a race that had conditions perfect for her. She had a light weight, so the stable loved it, and they prepped her right up, and they really wanted to win that race, and she bolted in.
Yep.
This time it's first up in spring, where they've probably got a long prep in mind. I think.
Yeah, you're thinking.
I don't think she'd be as wound up. So.
Okay.
I'm prepared to bet around Neighbourhood Protector, even though I'm acknowledging that she's the most talented mare in the field.
Yeah, I put her as our early unders. It's in our article online, but
it's fair enough.
Yeah.
So Vézelay started a very well-backed favourite in the lead-up.
Okay.
Michael Rodd was a bit all over the shop. So we get rid of Michael Rodd and we get Damien Oliver back. I think Vézelay will be very well-backed and will run close to favourite.
Okay,
I would
there
think.
we go. Well.
And I like her. Plenty of other chances though. I think favourite here will be $5 plus.
Yep.
Cosmic Endeavour, I was happy to let her go first up, but second up she's right in this. She'll be right on the back of Neighbourhood Protector and Vézelay, and that'll be a good spot to be here. Madam Gangster will be with her, and she's right on this race. She won the leader. Amicus comes down from Sydney. She sort of fits in there. Platinum Rocker's got a chance. Fenway will be running on late, so it's a good race. But I just like the way this race shapes for Damien Oliver on Vézelay.
And at the 1400, you think she's right to switch off, or there's enough pace there to sort of keep her comfortable at $6 or plus. You're happy to
I'm
take that
saying she's $9.
She's $9.
Yeah, I think that's a good price.
Yep.
The last 100 metres could be her problem.
Yep.
That could happen. Like she hasn't done enough racing at this distance range to know for sure. But it's not an obvious problem.
Yep.
The other horse I'll be interested in if she gets in the field is Sadage, but at the moment she's not in the field, so let's not worry about her for the moment.
Okay. Let's do the last race. This is a better last race, I think, compared to what we've been working with previously. 1,700 metres. We've got a nice open affair. Iggy McCool's 420, but outside of that, he or she as an emergency 650, $6 for set square, and $7 observational, who is a first up Lloyd runner.
Iggy McCool keeps turning up a fairly short price in these.
It does.
I mean, she's running well. She's racing well.
Great horse to you, hasn't it? Because
Yeah.
it's run second when you've been on the winner.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sort of opposing here, but she's well found again. Like,
Yep.
she's just too short. Doesn't make sense to me. So we've got 20 runners if you include the emergencies here. I think there's already a few scratching. So
Yep.
I might have to look at some of the emergencies to see if we can find a leader out of them. But
Okay, so there's no...
it's certainly not a Basso, and it's not he or she. So
Yeah.
Can of Lemonade's our last chance. But I can
Okay.
tell you all the rest of the horses, they've never led.
In their life.
Well, certainly not at a race below.
Yeah.
Not,
Midweek or whatever.
No, a staying race.
Okay.
So some of them have led staying races. Okay, so we're at
Yeah.
1,700 metres here. None of them have led in anything like this distant range. So it's a peculiar map with a big field, but no one wanting the front.
Yep.
So Awesome Rock gets in the field, drawn gate 19. I just hope Glenn Boss rolls the dice, goes forward, and if he gets in front of these horses, they won't get past him.
Is that right? Okay. Cool.
He'll just he'll just control it. He'll be too fast for them. Most of them are stayers.
Yep.
So it's an awesome rock opportunity for Awesome Rock here to post a Saturday win, which he struggled to do. He's not really a...
Giving me something to work with there with a headline for a story. Awesome opportunity to rock or something. We'll work that out.
He's 10 to 1 in the early markets, $11. So I'd be taking that price, punters, and just hope he doesn't get into the other race. Because we want him to be in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't got... His edge here is all about the map.
Yep.
So they have to take advantage of it. You don't, and I'm not sure that, I don't know that they will. It just seems obvious to me. On performance, there's not a lot between several runners here. He's one of them.
Yep.
Observational, set square, Iggy McCool, they're all around the same level. So it's, it's about, Iggy McCool's got the fitness advantage. Set square's had one run, so she's here to run well, but she's got bigger fish to fry down the thing. Observational's first up. He won first up at Bendigo, I think it was, in a rich race, $100,000 race or whatever it was. But they went really quick there, and he sort of just got over them. Totally different kettle of fish
scenario.
here. So I'm sort of saying I'm not potting any of the horses in the market. I'm just saying they're all sort of pretty well found, and Awesome Rock can get into the field here and have an advantage on them.
Okay.
The other horse I could have a tiny bet on at a huge price would be Bondiga. He's after all a Victoria Derby place getter.
Yes.
You get a cheap run from gate 1 here, and he could sneak into the money.
Okay. Happy with that.
Yep.
Okay.
I haven't looked at he or she because I didn't think she was going to, or he was. It's a stupid name, isn't it? He or she.
It's a girl thing. It's a he.
It's a he, but he or she, he's a he.
He's lost his ball, so...
I'd have to put a bit of thought into him, but he's again another horse that's got the right sort of...
Yep.
He'd be a chance here, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
He's not a go-forward horse, he's a midfield horse, so... Again, it'd need to be a clever ride.
All right.
There we go.
That sounds pretty good, Darren.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's hope things run our way, but I think there's plenty to work with there on Saturday.
Yep, there is. You can grab Darren's set right now on our website. He's also part of our Pro Better Live, which gets you the John Walter set included for Sydney. We've got great deals. We've got the Top Better tournament on. We've got a few trials. The mounting yards are going to help us, especially this weekend.
Yep.
That's all there for you. So punters, good luck. Thanks, Darren.
I particularly look forward to the mounting yard report from Warren. Warren had a good look at Rich Enough first up.
He did.
I think, if you get the green light from Warren, we might turn a small bet into a big bet.
Yep.
You never know.
Yep. And it's all about staking, isn't it? And taking advantage of our chances.
Yep.
Thanks, mate. See you next week.
Beauty.
See you guys.